Antonio Brown is doing something. Next second, he's doing something completely unexpected. And now he's a Patriot. And so this photograph that we took yesterday at our rundown meeting, smile if your Sunday morning rundown just got blown up by Antonio Brown and the Patriots and Drew Rosenhaus Sports and the Raiders. And I mean, and how rare is it to see somebody post a video of themselves shirtless running into their backyard celebrating the loss of $21 million guaranteed dollars? But that happened yesterday as Antonio Brown signed a one-year, $15 million contract, 9 of it guaranteed, with the Patriots. And Tom Brady was one of the many members of Patriot Nation, if you will, all fired up for this. Edelman tweeted out as well, and Patriot Nation went crazy. And then the rest of the NFL fandom that doesn't root for the Patriots got all up in arms because here's the Patriots taking somebody else's leftovers, if you will, and then turning it into their own gold. However, Mike Giardi, along with Ian Rappaport, we'll get to, this is not just anybody that we're talking about. That's, if you want to talk about leftovers, this is one of the greatest receivers we've ever seen through 9 seasons. Ian, how did this all come together?
Well, everyone in Raider Nation, Rich, thought that this thing was over. Of course, Antonio Brown apologized to his team, spoke to the media, and in his mind, this was done. He was ready to resume his career with the Raiders. And then, as he told me in a message yesterday, he got the fine $215,000 from the Raiders, and he got 2 letters voiding his guarantees. At that point, it was very clear. He wanted to be released at 11:56 a.m. Eastern Time. He got official word from the Raiders. He was out. Of course, it wasn't official on the league wire until 4 p.m., but according to a new rule this year, his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, was allowed to talk to teams. The interest was significant, and at 4:58 p.m., just 5 hours later, he was a member of the Patriots, agreed to terms. We wondered so much, who is going to replace Rob Gronkowski? Can you believe it's Antonio Brown, Giardi?
Yeah, Ian, pretty crazy to think, but you know Bill Belichick has always had eyes for Antonio Brown. In fact, when Antonio Brown was made available for trade back in February and March, the Patriots were one of the teams that talked to Kevin Colbert, the Steelers GM, and tried to work out a deal. Now, obviously, he ends up in Oakland, but not for long. Now, the thing I'll caution here with Antonio Brown is if he expects to be treated differently, that's not the way it works in New England. Belichick has said once, if I favor one player, I don't favor the other 52. What does that say to them? Doesn't matter whether you're a star or not. It's all about setting the tone. He recalled the story when he first took over the team in 2000. Meeting was 3 or 4 minutes long. A former first rounder came in, sat right in the front row. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Sorry, coach, I'm late." He said, "No, you're out. Get out. It's not how we're going to establish a program here." Antonio Brown, you're on notice. Back to you, Rich.
Well, and so many different ways to go here, and trust me, if you're hanging with us for the next 4 hours, we're going to be talking about this a little bit more often throughout the next, as we take it to kickoff of the Week 1 early games. So does that mean we won't see any YouTube videos of a private? Hold on a minute. I should make sure, just in case this does show up, I need to show my best side for Antonio Brown's YouTube page.
We did make that video, didn't we?
Hi, Antonio. So, guys, do you think we're going to see a private conversation between Antonio Brown and Bill Belichick YouTubed out? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
What do you make of this, Kurt? You have the floor.
Well, I mean, I think there's so much here to unpack. I mean, first of all, I applaud the Raiders because after everything that went down, they had to make this move. And it didn't look like anything was going to stop in Raider Nation. They're trying to build something there. They're trying to establish a culture. I don't believe Antonio Brown gave them any option other than to release him. At the same time, I applaud the Patriots. And I know that's not necessarily a popular opinion because we don't condone everything that Antonio Brown has done. But the Patriots have built a culture where they believe, even with some of these issues, we can bring him in and we can kind of curtail a lot of this stuff and we can go and have success on the football field, which is what this is really about. And, and then I look bigger picture. And, we want to make Antonio Brown out to be a villain in a lot of different ways. But I just believe the Patriots are looking at this and going, there's a lot of guys, shouldn't say a lot of guys, there's a number of guys in this league that will suit up today that have done things that are worse than what Antonio Brown did over the last month, as chaotic as it was. And teams are going to suit up guys that they believe can help them win on the football field. That's where it's at. And so I applaud both sides because I think they both did what they had to do to make their team better.
I find it amazing, actually, you know, as we have sat the last few days and watched this as the AB world turns, soap opera that has gone on, you know, and really, to hear about Antonio Brown going after Mike Mayock, like the way we heard, and then to turn around and to act the way he acts when he got released or lose the $30 million guaranteed. I thought that was amazing to see that.
Well, a lot
out
of people
him.
are reading into the fact that he knew that the Patriots were sitting out there. Otherwise, why would he reacted that way? Now,
Well,
obviously,
he knew there was interest, and that other teams probably was interested in him. I'm sure he's gotten that word from his agent. But still, I mean, like when I saw it, I was like, what did Oakland do that was so bad that you wanted out like that? You know, because I thought they did everything right. I thought they had tried to do everything right. So that was strange. And again, I said to myself, wow, I hope everything's okay with AB. I love AB. I love him. He's a Florida boy. You know, it's like me. He grew up. He came through some hard times to get to where he is. So I applaud him in that. And you guys hear me say it all the time. I measure men in distance travel. So what a great distance he has traveled. But here of late, there's cause for concern as we watch how everything has unfolded. And I know we always say, hey, Bill Belichick, that culture, it could help him out. God knows, I hope it does. I hope it does. But here, AB has to understand, you're not coming here to make this program. You know, you were Pittsburgh. You were doing great in Pittsburgh. You were going to help Oakland get back on the map. Mm-hmm. They are the map. They are the map. They don't need you to help them get back on the map. And maybe that will help him come in with a different perspective and a different attitude.
We all saw that press conference by John Gruden yesterday. I thought he did a heck of a job with it. And I texted him
Me
afterward.
too, Coach. Through it all, I thought Coach
really
Gruden
did
a great job.
He really wanted to make it work for AB in Oakland. He said they exhausted all of their efforts in trying to make this work, and it didn't work. So he wished them the best. But when you peel it all back, this circus that's been going on in Oakland, and even in Pittsburgh before Oakland, does it surprise anybody that New England grabbed him? They need him. They need AB. They can use AB. Look at their pass receivers, people. They lose Gronk. They lose Dwayne Allen. They signed Ben Watson. He's out for 4 weeks, okay? They draft N'Keal Harry from Arizona State in the first round. He's on IR, all right? Chris Hogan's not there anymore. Cordero Patterson's not there anymore. Demaryius Thomas has got a hamstring. This receiving core is a little banged up and thin. They can use AB. He's not going to play the first game, but boy, when he's ready to play second week, he's going to plug right in there and be very productive. They need him.
Well, just let me put a button on this because we're going to talk about it later on. And I think I'll just give voice to what a lot of fans out there are thinking, that you want to understand his behavior did not, if you will, wasn't as bad, if you will, as somebody who's beaten somebody up or run afoul of the law, of course. But the way that we respect NFL players and teams and the conduct and the professionalism and why many people watch this sport and enjoy it, he ran afoul of that.
Sure.
And, you know, this has nothing to do with the fact that we know Mike Mayock for all those years. But he ran afoul of that. And the organization with the man at the top who respects the game more than anybody else picked him up within minutes, it seems, and paid him. And the question is what does that mean? What do all these platitudes towards professionalism mean? And it really upsets a lot of fans. Now, when it all comes down to it, will he be just a guy on the Patriots who also happens to be a first ballot Hall of Famer through 9 seasons? And so we'll see how it all does play out. But for the moment, it is just a shocking turn of events as we now turn the page on our rundown. We'll discuss this later on a little bit more, as well as Kay Adams, who's out in front of Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia, joined by Michael Robinson and D'Angelo Hall in front of a throng of very excited Philly fans. Take it away, Kay.
Yep, the link is alive. We are counting down to the kickoff to NFL 100 here. We will talk Eagles, we will talk Redskins, but I'm here with 2 gentlemen who were on the air on Good Morning Football Weekend, and you were there live as the this story unfolded, Antonio Brown lands up in Foxborough.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, this story kind of evolved yesterday while we were on the air. We had a whole show planned out, and then Antonio Brown just totally eliminated our entire show, Kay. But as this news came out, a couple of different things came to mind. It lets you know just how much of a playmaker that the New England Patriots need out there. There is no Rob Gronkowski out there anymore. There is no guy that dictates coverage every single time this offense lines up. When you put Antonio Brown out there, there's two people on the defense that's going to always have to look at wherever Antonio Brown is, and that provides a lot of information for Tom Brady. Something else that came to mind was Antonio Brown could have only gone to a few teams, to me, and only a few teams that have dominant quarterbacks. Obviously, he was with Ben Roethlisberger before, and that didn't work out. I think Antonio Brown has to prove to not only himself but the rest of the football world that he is more than just being about the money. He has to show everybody and show his teammates that he's also about winning championships, D.O.
Yeah, absolutely. And what better place than New England? We kind of threw that out there yesterday. Like, man, I would love to see him there. Because Antonio Brown is the kind of player, he's going to take as much as you give him. You can see John Gruden wanted more of a French line. Like, I don't see Antonio Brown doing the things he did.
No Facebook Live, none of that
No
stuff.
Facebook Live.
So there's no concern here with his influence. No concern here with his influence in the locker room. You have a rookie in N'Keal Harry. You have a guy in Josh Gordon that doesn't need distractions. He needs to stay focused. And you have a guy, Julian Edelman. He runs the show. He's the MVP. And now Antonio Brown's making twice as much more money than he is. I just don't know about the fit in the locker room, even though it is Brady and Belichick and now Antonio Brown, which makes them the killer bees up in Foxborough, which is still pretty weird.
I think the culture takes care of it, Kay. I mean, really, this team has been winning for so long, and then you have Tom Brady, the GOAT. Even Antonio Brown calls him the GOAT. There's a lot of respect there, and I think that goes a long way.
It feels like Belichick is Thanos, and he got that last Infinity Stone. These Eagles fans don't agree with that, though. They want to talk Eagles, and Carson Wentz, his long-awaited healthy return here at Lincoln Financial Field, Rich.